Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari Yasodanandana Bhajanaranjana Yasodanandana Bhajanaranjana Jamunitira Vanatari Jamunitira Vanatari Jamunitira Vanatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari Girivanadari Yasodanandana Bhajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanatari Jamunatira Vanatari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariba Jakacharya Asita Dashish Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Kura Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namchar Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem Shri Ghosh Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Gita Govardhan ki, Vrindavan Dham ki, Mathura Dham ki, Navadip Dham ki, Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Jamuna Maya ki, Ganga Maya ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Sambhira Bhakti Vrinda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Say Siddhara Giridhara ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtana Jaga ki, Go Premanande. All glories to the Sambhava devotees. All glories to the Sambhava devotees. All glories to the Sambhava devotees. All glories to the divine lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So before we start the Bhagavatam, I thought I should read something about Lochan Das Thakur, whose appearance day today. And I can pass around, this is a picture of the Samadhi in Vrindavan of Lokanath Das Thakur, and here is a very rare painting of him. So the real personality and history. So here you go, pass these around. Also, we don't have time to, someone can either, this is a whole class in and of itself. This is his song, one of his many songs, Gaur Nityananda Daya, about the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Yes, Paramakaruna. And it has the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So you can check this out. We'll leave it here. You can check it out later on during the day. You know, there was a couple that met the devotees in Balboa Park yesterday. Came here to the Saturday program and wound up buying Bhagavad Gita. So I know I'm not saying, anyway, the point I'm making is that how nice it is to have the devotees out there in Balboa Park. We've met a lot of devotees over the years from that. So it's a very valuable program, and thank you for keeping it going. So, Srila Lochan Das Thakur appeared in this world in 1520 AD, 34 years after the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lochan Das Thakur wrote a biography on Lord Chaitanya entitled Sri Chaitanya Mangala, and he wrote many devotional songs. Sri Lochan Das Thakur's guru was Sri Narahari Sakar Thakur. He was the only son of his parents. He was raised in his maternal grandfather's home, and his education was completed there. When he was only a little boy, he enjoyed the good fortune of meeting the devotees of Lord Gauranga. Okay, let's put those away. Devices, you know, it's just a distraction. He was married at a young age. From his youth, he was very attached to Lord Gaur-Sundar and consequently very disinterested in material life. These things go together. Anyway, I have other things I want to say. In his youth, he spent the major part of his time at his guru's ashram, where he learned how to perform beautiful kirtan. The book that he composed, Chaitanya Mangala, was from the diary of Sri Murari Gupta. Murari Gupta, who resided at Nadia, composed many beautiful verses about the life of Lord Gauranga. These included the youthful pastimes of Nimai, which Murari Gupta personally took part in. For his description of Lord Chaitanya's latter pastimes in Jagannath Puri, after he accepted sannyas, Lochan Das Thakur used the notebooks of Sri Damodar Pandit. I mean, these are real things, diaries, personal notes. They're actually historical biographies. It's not just sentiment and somebody thought something. Having heard these verses of Murai Gupta composed in Sanskrit, I have become very attracted, and so I have composed them in village poetry, folk meter of Bengal. Here's something about that folk meter. That's from the invocation of that Sri Chaitanya Mangala. Previously in Bengal, especially East Bengal, now Bangladesh, the poets used to compose sacred songs and verses in different forms of classic rhymes and rhythmic meters called Panchali. The Panchali employs 5 different kinds of song styles or meters. Lochandas Thakur also sings the glories of Sri Gauranga and Nityananda in the beautiful song Sri Gaura Nityadaya Parama Karuna. This song was especially dear to Srila Prabhupada, and you can read Prabhupada's commentary on it here. Lochandas Thakur ended his pastimes in this world in 1589 at the age of 69. So that's, and his samadhi is in the 24-hour, which is eternal, but the 64 samadhis area of Vrindavan. So, let's chant the Sanskrit for this verse. And we are on 4-8-78, correct? Well, that's nice. We're in sync. Adaram Mahad Adinam Pradana Purusheshwaram Brahma Darayam. No, I'm just working it out myself because I can barely see. Darayamanasya Trayo Lokash Chakampare Adaram Mahad Adinam Pradhanam Purusheshwaram Brahmadarayamanasya Trayolokas Chakampare Adaram Maharadinam Pradhanam Purusheshwaram Brahmadarayamanasya Trayalokas Chakampare Wait, we're going to do it one more time. Adaram Maharadinam Pradhana Purusheshwaram Brahmadarayamanasya Trayalokas Chakampare Adaram Maharadinam Paranam Purusheshwaram Brahmadarayamanasya Trayalokas Chakampare Paranam Purusheshwaram Brahmadarayamanasya Trayalokas Chakampare. Vaishnavi. Pradhanam Pahadinam Pradhanam Purusheshwaram Brahmadarayamanasya Trayalokas Chakampare Adaram repose Mahad Adinam of the material sum total known as the Mahatattva. Pradhana, the chief. Purusha Ishwaram, master of all living entities. Brahma, the supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead. Darayamanasya, having taken into the heart. Traya, the 3 planetary systems. Loka, all the planets, Chakampare, began to tremble. Translation. When Dhruva Maharaj thus captured the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the refuge of the total material creation, and who is the master of all living entities, the three worlds began to tremble. I'll say, you say. When Dhruva Maharaj thus captured the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the refuge of the total material creation, and who is the master of all living entities, the three worlds began to tremble. Purport. In this verse, the particular word Brahma is very significant. Brahman refers to one who is not only the greatest, but has the potency to expand to an unlimited extent. How is it possible for Dhruva Maharaj to capture Brahman within his heart? This question has been very nicely answered by Jiva Goswami. He says that the Supreme Personality of God is the origin of Brahman. For since he comprises everything material and spiritual, there cannot be anything greater than he. In the Bhagavad Gita, also the Supreme Lord says, I am the resting place of Brahman. Many persons, especially the Mayavad philosophers, consider Brahman the biggest, all-expanding substance. But according to this verse and other Vedic literature, such as Bhagavad Gita, the resting place of Brahman is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as the resting place of the sunshine is the sun globe. Srila Jiva Goswami therefore says that since the transcendental form of the Lord is the seed of all greatness, he is the Supreme Brahman. Since the Supreme Brahman is situated in the heart of Dhruva Maharaj, he became heavier than the heaviest. And therefore everything trembled in all three worlds and the spiritual world. The Mahatattva, or the sum total of the material creation, is to be understood to be the ultimate end of all universes, including all living entities therein. Brahman is the resort of the Mahatattva, which includes all material and spiritual entities. Interesting. It is described in this connection that the Supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, is the master both of Pradhana and Purusha. Pradhana means subtle matter, such as ether. Purusha means the spiritual spark, living entities who are entangled in that subtle material existence. These may also be described as Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, being the controller of both Prakritis, is thus the master of Pradhan and Purusha. In the Vedic hymns also, the Supreme Brahman is described as Ananta Pravishta Shasta. This indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is controlling everything and entering into everything. The Brahma Samhita further confirms this. Anantasta paramanu chayantarastam. He has entered not only into the universes, but even into the atom. In Bhagavad Gita 10:42, Krishna says, Vishtambhya idam Kristanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead controls everything by entering into everything. Like pearls on a thread, Krishna says. He being the thread. By associating constantly with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his heart, Dhruva Maharaj naturally became equal to the greatest Brahman by his association, and thus became the heaviest, and the entire universe trembled. In conclusion, a person who always concentrates on the transcendental form of Krishna within his heart can very easily strike the whole world with wonder at his activities. This is the perfection of yoga performance, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 6:47, Yoginam api sarvesham. Of all yogis, the bhakti yogi, who thinks of Krishna always within his heart and engages in his, Krishna's loving transcendental service, is the topmost. Ordinary yogis can exhibit wonderful material activities known as astasiddhis, 8 kinds of mystic perfection, yogic perfection. But a pure devotee of the Lord can surpass these perfections by performing activities which can make the whole universe tremble. Om Agyanatimarundasya Gyanaganasavakaya Jakshushamilitan Gena Tazarishi Gurave Namaha. So we're going to move quickly if possible. How is it possible? Dhruva Maharaj captured Krishna, as it says right here. I mean, after all, Krishna is known as Ajita. He's inconquerable. It says here, he's the refuge of the total material creation. He's the master of all living entities. Appears to be a paradox. How is it possible? He's the greatest. How is he captured by a devotee? How is it possible? Do we know how? Can we think of a Leela? What is that Leela? Very well. And how did Mother Yasoda, was she able to bind Krishna? How was she able to ultimately tie up Krishna? Handy dandy, extra strength rope? He let her. She was captured by her love, and therefore he surrendered. And the fact of the matter is that Krishna likes to be captured. That's actually Krishna's, he'd much rather be captured. He'd rather be chastised by the gopis, cowherd boys. Prabhupada says how it's coming to the end of the day. Mother Yasoda calls Krishna. You have to come right now, stop playing. You have to come back, take your bath, get dressed. Your father, Nanda Maharaj, won't eat unless you are there, so you have to come now. So Krishna's being pulled by that. Cowherd boys say, you leave now? Like, well, when I used to play baseball, and the guy with a bat would leave early, where all the local kids playing, or take his ball and go home, the game's over, right? So cowherd boys said, you leave now in the middle of our game. We won't let you play with us tomorrow. So Prabhupada said Krishna was perplexed whether Mother Yasoda was going to chastise him, or the cowherd boys were not going to play with him the next day. And Krishna loves it. Krishna, it's very sweet. So there's many examples. I was thinking of a couple others. Of course, Radharani is controlling Krishna. Gopis, the Gopas, they play their game, and if Krishna loses, what does he have to do? He has to carry them on his back. So many nice things. Mother Yasoda will tell Krishna, oh, fetch Nanda Maharaj's shoes. Oh, you're so big and so strong? Let's just see if you can carry Lord Nanda Maharaj's shoes. Then he'll put Nanda Maharaj's shoes on his head, bring them for Mother Yasoda. So he likes it. Out of Vrindavan Leela, Bali Maharaj, when Bali Maharaj surrendered everything, in the ultimate issue, Krishna became his gatekeeper, doorman. Prabhupada says, I was there with Lord Nrsingadev. Of course, we know that no one could pacify Lord Nrsingadev. They're all, big, powerful demigods, speechless in fear. Finally, they push little Prahlad Maharaj forward. Prahlad completely pacified. But it's described that after Hiranyakasipu was bifurcated, the brief surgical operation, which the patient did not survive, of course, ultimately he was delivered. Lord Nrsinga went to bathe because he was sprinkled with one of the first, anyway. They had a picture of Lord Nrsingadev, and he looked quite pacific, peaceful. Prabhupada looked and said, where's the blood? So, it's pretty ghastly. Antarami, doesn't that mean garland of intestines? Antarmali, yeah, mali, like garland with intestines. So it's a drastic scene. So afterwards, Lord Nrsingadev, he went to bathe. And where he bathed is Nrshingapole, which is in Navadvip. And Prabhupada said they divided into two sides. The demigods on one side, Prahlad and Nrsinga on the other side, and they engaged in water sports, fighting with each other, So to be on, Prahlad Maharaj's side and splashing water on the demigods, and sometimes getting water splashed on him, and this way all the blood was cleansed off. So this is Krishna. This is how Krishna actually likes to sport. He doesn't like, of course he likes on one hand, but his favorite is to be controlled by his devotees. So here it's being described, although it appears to be a paradox, it doesn't diminish Krishna. It's another, throughout our philosophy is Achinta Beta Beta Tattva. It's affirming refuge of all living entities, the pradhan, everything that, which means the whole, everything that is. If you roll it up into one ball, before it becomes divided into all the 24 elements of the Sankhya Yoga. It's all there. Krishna's in charge of it all. And yet, he likes to be chastised by his devotees. So, there we go. The world began to tremble. So Prabhupada says that, everyone is ultimately defeated by the material nature, except for a devotee. Everyone trembles. What is it? Krishna is the fear personified, is afraid of Krishna. But ultimately, this material world crushes everyone. Nobody gets out alive. Nobody, what is it, Shakespeare? Sans teeth, sans hair, sans sans everything. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. So that's reality. And it's the existential fear that underlines everything. Is that I'm going to have to drop dead and what happens? And I have to give it all up. But a devotee is fearless. It's an amazing thing. Everyone trembles before the world, but the world trembles before a devotee. And Prabhupada describes, I'm thinking of the time factor. By controlling his breath, by capturing Krishna within his heart, Dhruva Maharaj conquered all existence to the point that it trembled before him. A devotee, pure devotee, surrendered devotee, becomes the greatest of yogis. Can anyone think of a confirmation that a devotee is the greatest of yogis? There's a famous pastime, very dramatic. Ambarish. Ambarish was in fact, that's what ticked off Devarsa Muni so much, that he was a king, as Prabhupada would say, a pound, shilling, pence man, had to deal with managing his kingdom. He was a householder, fallen. Prabhupada used to say that his godbrothers, when Prabhupada came to America, because they all knew Prabhupada when he was a Bhai Babu, as a householder. And Prabhupada said, they are saying about me, how is this putrefied householder done so much? That's how Prabhupada referred to himself, So, he was a putrefied householder. And yet, Ambarish, so much so that Devarsa Muni, you know the story, so I'm not going to take up time with it, but completely had to fall down at the feet of Devarsa Muni. I mean of Ambarish, sorry. We have Arjuna, who was compared, was it to a fig? What is he compared to? To Bhishma Dev, the great, completely outnumbered by generals of far greater experience. But what happened? We all know the story. Completely defeated him. So there's so many examples. We don't have time to go in, but those are of how, just by surrendering to Krishna, by being a pure devotee of Krishna, he conquered everything. What's another modern example of a devotee who managed to conquer everything? Srila Prabhupada, an old man. Prabhupada said, with how many, what is it, the equivalent of $8? 40 rupees or whatever it was? Came to New York all by himself. Nobody. No help. Typewriter stolen. I mean, just, you can imagine. Prabhupada going regularly to the Scindia line to see when the next Scindia ship was going back to India. Finally, that Mr. Forrester said, you're coming all the time, checking out when the next ship leaves. He said, but I don't see that you ever go. Prabhupada said, I know. He said, my spiritual master has given me this mission. He said, but I get some mental solace thinking I could go. So Prabhupada would just go, all right, it was a hellish place, So it's a modern example. All over the world. Because we're talking about mystic yogis, and I do want to get to something else. And it's a good, if you've heard it before, so what? It's a good story. that Tarun Kanti Ghosh, who was he was somehow or other, his great-great-great-grandfather was initiated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and so he came in a noble Vaishnav line. He was a well-to-do person. He had, materially, he had a whole bunch of local language newspapers all over India. And he had been to see some yogi, and let's give him credit. Let's say there actually was a bona fide yogi, nothing up his sleeve, nothing, no bogus image like that charlatan. Who was that guy? There were so many. Sai Baba, who was caught palming off gold chains. It was just sleight of hand, So he was actually caught because they were filming him. Some in awe and reverie, just wanted to film his miracle. And when they filmed it, they actually caught him doing a sleight of hand. You know what his answer was? Oh, because his spiritual batteries had run down. He actually can do it, but his batteries were low, so he had to resort to it, Such a cheater. So this yogi, let's give him credit. Let's say he was a bona fide yogi, different yogi. Zoop, he made an apple. And what is his name? So Tarun Kanti Ghosh came and kept saying, oh, this yogi made an apple. There was no apple. He made an apple. And he was just wearing a gumsha. And there's nothing up his sleeve. And apple. He kept going on and on about this apple. Prabhupada said, who was the paragon of humility, but in his role of a teacher, had to make the point. Prabhupada said, I came to America with nothing. I sat down in Tompkins Square Park with a pair of kartals, not even any amplification. This is even before we had the bongo, playing kartals. Greeted by one of the officialdom of New York City, local policemen, hey buddy, get off the grass. So Prabhupada's sitting on the hot concrete with his little pair of kartals. Prabhupada's sitting, so many devotees came. And from the devotees, so many books, so many festivals, so many deities, so many temples. And then Prabhupada said, and in every temple there are so many apples. Apple halva, apple chutney, we're a fruit salad, we're awash with apples. So the man makes one apple. But what about Prabhupada all alone and made temples all over the world? Now that's mystic power. So as Prahlad Maharaj, all the three worlds trembled in front of him. One who becomes empowered by Krishna, the whole can change the world. Which brings me to the point I wanted to make. How one devotee can make the whole world become Krishna conscious. We don't walk away from that thinking, oh, just see, I'll become a powerful devotee and control the world. Rather, we should feel a deep obligation. There is the Good Samaritan law. Anyone know what the Good Samaritan law in California is? The Good Samaritan is the one who stopped and helped in the parables of Jesus. A man was suffering, so many pious, this and so-called pious walked by. Samaritans kind of was considered like a chandala, low class. And he stopped and helped the person. And Jesus highlighted him. So they have what they call the Good Samaritan law. If you see a car accident, and you're the first person, and you don't stop and try to offer assistance or call the doctors or call the 911. If you just drive by, you can, I don't know what the fine is, it's a misdemeanor, but it is a fine. It's called the Good Samaritan law. What to speak if you're a doctor and you just drive by? Hey, I'm too busy, man, I got to go to my golf game. No, they'll get you under the Good Samaritan law. Similarly, we have a duty to become Krishna conscious. We can't just play around. We have the greatest responsibility. We have the ability, the potential. We have the potential, each and every one of us, to deliver unlimited living entities. And therefore, it's incumbent upon us to become Krishna conscious. Now, Prabhupada, in talking about this point, he gives the example. He was talking, I just heard it yesterday, so maybe think of it. He was talking to some big senior, I don't want to say who, because I don't know sure, but someone like that Siddha Swarup, you know, who didn't want to work within ISKCON and didn't like being under the GBC. He wanted to do his own thing, you know. So he said, but Prabhupada, I'm preaching. Prabhupada said, but you're preaching. What is that preaching? Prabhupada said, preaching means you have to work under. You work under the authority. You work under the acharya. You work within the institution. And Prabhupada gave a great example. Prabhupada said, if you're working in a company, right? Big office, you know, and you're just working in your own way. The boss says, hey, come on, you know, I told you to do this. And you say, but I'm doing work. I'm doing work in this way. Is that the right approach? You'll get fired. No, you got to work under the supervisor. The supervisor determines what work needs to be done. Similarly, well, I don't want to do the temple president or sannyasi, whoever it may be, even parish, I say it, your GBC, says, do this. I'm serving Krishna in my own way. Nah, you say that, but I want to do this. I'm serving Krishna. No, that's not where the potency flows. The potency flows when you follow and you act under. I'm a GBC member. I'm under the North American GBC. I'm under the international GBC. Everybody's under somebody. Even you're liberated. Even you go back to home, back to Godhead. You're under Nanda Maharaj or Mother Yasoda or one of the gopis. They have all the different... Well, you're under somebody. Everybody is. And that's where the mercy and the potency and the realization comes. I'll tell you, and I will close on this point. Oh, there's the clock. One of the reasons I like to go to Burma, in addition to it's a challenge and it's great preaching and all that, but here's another reason I like to go, and similarly in India. If I say to someone, and it's universal, we've all taught, different sannyasis, you talk about it. If you're in the West, and you say, hey, come on, do it on time. Or, we need you to do this, not that. Oh, the Western mind goes into a deep and dark funk. Oh, Swami doesn't like me. And he doesn't know how hard I'm working. And who's he to talk to me that way anyway? I mean, the whole West has been spoiled by this self-esteem move. Everybody gets a gold star. If you don't drool and you can sit in your desk, you get a gold star. Hey, thumbs up. You're special, And everybody thinks, oh, I'm special. You can't talk to me that way. And if you do upset my mind, oh, you're obliged. You've got to spend hours unwinding all of my issues. You don't love me. You don't appreciate me. You don't understand. Oh, I got to spend hours and hours. Whoever's in charge, unwrapping that person's mind. And if you don't, you're bogus and you're unkind and you're cruel. Burma, you tell somebody, hey, come on, do it on time. They say, Jai. Now, which is a better reaction? Which is a happier state? The person who take literally hours to unwind their mind out of their whole mental world that they've just spun off on. Or the devotee said, Jai, no problem. Which is a better state of mind? Which will make you happier? Jai. The Jai formula. We're not talking about blind following, not talking surrendering to abuse. We're not talking about any of this, so just scratch that. But that whole other mental funk that you have to swamp that you've got to wade through. You don't make advancement. That's not how you learn. That's not how you advance. A whole mental fog to deal with. So, in summation, all I wanted to say was, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that he hoped that he prayed that his disciples would be tinged by passion. Now, what did he mean by that? Does he mean he wants his sannyasis to run out and start dating? That he wants them to passionately duke it out with each other, their passion? What did he mean by that? To couple it, Prabhupada said, I spit on your peace. Because the temple president of Vrindavan said, oh, Prabhupada, I'm in such anxiety trying to manage this place and deal with this and deal with that. I just want to become peaceful. Prabhupada's response? Spend 15 hours unwinding his mind. What did Prabhupada say? I spit on this piece. We want to get the job done. If we love Krishna, it's not that, everybody's mind needs a break sometimes. No problem. Take your break in your mini vacation. They talk about mini vacations. Take a mini mental vacation. Chant nice japa. Have a nice little bhajan. Chant and dance at kirtan. That's what we're looking for. And we'll actually do the job. But the point I'm trying to make is that just this, somebody asks me to do something and, chastises or corrects me and I go completely mental and off on a spin, a distant fog. Or, I want to do it this way. You've got your idea, but yeah, you're in charge, but I got my idea. Or one gets completely, it'll get done. I'm shanti, shanti, shanti. That is not how this movement is going to spread. That's dereliction of duty. One should feel that burning passion. Let me become active. What is the natural state of matter? Does it self-organize? Does it evolve from a lesser state to a greater state? No. If we don't push matter for Krishna, it's going to stay where it is. Well, that's not how we're going to advance. It's not how the world's going to change, and it's not pleasing to Krishna. And on that happy note, and the example is Dhruva Maharaj was able to conquer the world and saw Krishna within 6 months. So stay in a mental funk or be tinged with devotional passion. The choice is ours. And we'll end there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.